All right, everybody. Woo, yeah! Woo, yeah! It is great to be out of the closet. Is that right, boys? All right. And in the motivational accountability life coaching men that I offer you, and I have you tap into your own artistic abilities, we create, and it's good for what? Cognitive science, the brain. So, what I am finding is the same thing that you've been finding, and that is a bunch of guys that are on the quote unquote DL. And DL stands for down low because they have a girl, or they say they have the wife. They don't even say they have a wife. They don't say they have a wife. They say the wife. Because these men are what? Disrespectful. So, all this red lipstick is Chanel. This is where Chanel hits a man's whiskers, right, gentlemen? So, I want men to come to terms with some facts. And that is, we need to encourage men to be honest with their female persons, okay, that they are partnered with, okay. The whole word is, being partnered. Now, the man may call me to talk this over with me and to work through some feelings and to meet in person in public so I can help them. But it is not good for the soul of a man or us men in the gay community looking for love getting used when the man does this behind his girlfriend's back or the wife's back. These men are getting away with not only being sexist to their wives, but they're getting away with men that are gay that have their eyes closed and all they can see and feel are the man's muscles when the man has a wife. So while the man is being deceitful to his wife and being sexist, being against her sex, he's bringing in other men using his body to what? To use men selfishly for his own what? Pleasure. Now, the men that he's using sex for to gain pleasure, all that, ladies and gentlemen, has to do with one thing, and that is camaraderie and consensual adults. But I want you to see that in the deceitfulness and being on the DL, it's not about justifying this behavior because it's men's health to ejaculate, right? To drain themselves and to help another guy out with, coming or something like that. But the mass mind control that's happening on gay men because of these straight muscular men. Okay, now these straight muscular men, if they don't have the party drugs, the party favors, they come in and expect for the gay men to promote the party favors. So when the party favors, we're specifically talking about methamphetamine, crystal meth, Tina, party and play, PNP methamphetamines, the devil's drug. You might want to think marijuana or alcohol or cocaine, but I'm talking real stuff, okay, that can really kill you. It's this mass mind control that men are allowing men to get away with, and these men are not cognitive. They're not what I call aware awake. And at Social Alchemy Project, this is kind of like a first priority, is come out of the closet. because men are lost and they seem to not be able to make the right commitments with humanity around them. Making commitments with humanity around them does not mean getting an erection and tossing strangers around for sex behind your wife's back, or even your boyfriend's back, or your husband's back, or your wife's back. Okay, this goes across gender and also goes across orientation, persuasion, gay or straight. When you make the right commitments to humanity, you're able to what? Raise children, understand social justice education, being literate, right? So with the humanity around us that's working off of LGBT and all things are good and it's all good because we smoke our marijuana because gay marriage is becoming legal in every state, does not mean that men that are curious need to be getting their hands on men when they have a wife, in the event they're not going to be coming out to their wife and being honest with their wife regarding their boogalooing or whatever. Now, this could be rich and or poor people, okay? This goes beyond economics, social stratification, as well as race. But one of the tactics that the gay community, gay culture uses for these straight men is showing that we have over here rich fag America, and you don't have to raise kids and care for your wife and financially support all that responsibility because you can come over here and get your cock sucked. This is the social norm, 2018. Men have placed too much emphasis on seeking a trophy husband and a trophy wife. Once they conquer that, then they move on and they start cheating and they have affairs and it's infidelity and it's lacking commitment. And this is why we say that there are lost souls among men, okay? Because of their heavy hearts now and their lusts and not being able to have self-control over what they want as needy fireflies, okay? Faggot flies, whatever term you want to create that's maybe derogatory, that makes men the scum of the earth. Because men are looking for scraps and crumbs. They're looking for somebody that they can plug in as a collector's item. They got the trophy, now they are collecting sex and collecting bodies and hot times and men. And gay men are not standing up to this because gay men are as needy as these heterosexual men because the soul of men is lost. Do you understand that? Because I'm not going to explain that anymore because we need to move on. Not all those who wander, however, that are looking around to seeing what's out there, even if they are partnered, not everybody who is wandering is lost. So I don't want you to think that I am being strict and I'm being cruel and shrewd and everything I say is indicative of me being a controller myself, trying to control your mind as a viewer. I want you to know that men that are partnered and they wander with their eyes or their minds, it doesn't mean they're lost. It's because they're looking at what I've always called satisfying the curiosity of a virgin soul. And this is very human. This is part of growth. It's part of developing the soul and having experiences and becoming cultured and traveling and loving different types of people and different types of food. But I'm talking about when men in the gay community are looking for men to date and hang out as friendships, these straight men that come along are not going to provide that commitment. They're just using you for sex. And it's selfish because it's at the expense of everybody else and it's pissing the relationships and the family life and the children away. Now, I'm not going to ask you what you're looking for because I'm going to assume that you haven't lost anything. I'm going to assume that you're not suicidal. I'm assuming that you're level-headed and you're doing everything you can to keep your head above the waters of the system. Now, I am not saying this to the world because I'm over here in Beverly Hills creating some new Beverly Hills, like the West Hollywood Men's Support Group of Southern California type of thing. A not-for-profit organization to support those that are working towards support-based groups to support community organizer work, okay? That is my work, but I'm not saying this because I live in Los Angeles and I know what's going on and I'm educated. I'm saying this because my advice to you is absolutely free, and I know this by experience, and I know the dynamics of being lost. I know the depression. I know the suicidal thoughts. And I also know the intellectual man inside myself that I allow to share in focus groups so men can explore issues at Social Alchemy Project Access Management, where they can manage and access their own alchemy, their own change with my facilitation and my guidance, my practitioner work as a psychologist, social scientist. This is what I do to make connections with men that are healthy next to the connections I make with a public sector from stage because I'm a celebrity and I sing. So making connections with others and ourselves, either romantic or platonic, if you are a partnered person and you are doing this behind your partner's back, going out with these dramatic expectations that you're going to find men that you are going to hone in on that will have an affair with you, even if you are willing to make a commitment, you're what? You're double-minded and you're talking from out of both sides of your mouth. Because that is not the connection men want. That's not contributing to gay men in a climate that does maximize open interaction between and among group members or married men or wives or gay men who will all actively work toward individual and group goals in life having to do with what? Sorting out the mind, asking questions, making inquiry, getting beyond the drama, getting beyond the liars and those that are pushy. Now, not all men are going to meet the, pardon me, oh, hate picking my nose in front of you. But not all men are going to meet the selection criteria for other men who are married. And when that happens to a gay man, it does hurt the gay man because the gay man is already making himself available as a quote-unquote whore, well, there's other stereotypes that I talk about in other of my lectures, but I'm not going to get too into that right now. So men, because I'm speaking to men, your heart is more than just a muscle, okay? It is a storage unit, okay? Compartment for all of your emotions. Some of them are latent and will pop their head in the future through maybe hate. But there is love and there is passion in that storage unit of your heart. And your heart is ready to open up to men and store true love for a special someone. Now, I understand that this is just about finding love and is like a needle in the haystack, but it's possible. But if you have found love and you've exchanged marriage vows with a straight woman and you're currently married, you need help with changing with the season. And changing with the season is me telling you, I'm here to help you come out of the closet. Because circumstances change, people change, and if you can sacrifice tomorrow, okay, and get ready for that sacrifice and good day that you're going to have with a focused mind and completing those goals that you have with your spouse or with your gay friends while you're married, okay? I'm not saying you can't know gay people, but if you could sacrifice tomorrow and have a day that works just to have you here right now. Okay, if I could put you on that straight path to clear up your dire thoughts of wanting to die, okay, or being lost. And again, I'm not expecting that you're suicidal. But if you could sacrifice tomorrow and do what's right and allow me to get you on the right path, then that will keep you here for the remainder of this video. I know this about becoming friends, and it is a slow process, but the same can be true with relationships when you're very attracted to same gender. So, men that are with gay men and you need to come out of the closet, gay men feel more lost after having had some circle jerk with you and other guys. You know, everybody sits around in a circle and just ejaculates in front of each other while some guy's in the middle of the room taking, you know, all the seed, and you pregnating and nurturing the territory, so to speak, with your seed. I'm getting into details. But men that are not out of the closet, when you do this to gay men behind your wife's back, and the gay men have allowed you to do this, the gay man is wondering why you have not reached back to him as even a nice civil person or a friend. Men, this does not make you handsome, any more handsome than the gay men and the gay boys in my community. So you will want to not be puffed up as you understand self-efficacy, having a goal that you could meet, and knowing that with what you have right now for skills and information that you are what? Evaluating and cleaning out, with great faith, you know tomorrow can be a straight day for you, okay? Now that is growing, and that's not going to happen if we are puffed up and we think that we're better than other men while we're conquering men through sex while we have the wife at home. I'm really upset about this because I am a child and a survivor of my family's divorce, and there was adultery in my family. And so I know how important this is for the children and for gay men. So you men out there that are misusing your democracy and your liberty and your freedom and your pursuit of justice and happiness for all, you've got to understand that you are not making us your equal. You are demeaning and degrading men like you've done to your wife. So you are getting away with bringing hate, and it's called shared hate, okay, because gay men have allowed it. But in the egalitarian society of being equal in gender, and you have muscles and you're physically strong, the gay twink or girly boy or sissy that doesn't have the strength that you have has mental strength and heart strength to stand up to you men on this issue. That is the muscle of the mind, okay? Now, I understand getting lost with musculature and men that body sculpt and practice strict nutrition interventive routines. I understand chemistry, and it's very lovely to meet these men for coffee. But in seeing the energy of a straight man doing this behind the wife's back, it's not good energy in the real life of gaymanity. That is the gayological vantage point in the humanities for the gay man. So you must be highly educated and have a wonderful mind that's reformed to reveal this personal information to you. You need the self-efficacy, you need the social cognitive skills, and if it means connecting with you respectfully through this video portrayal and this lecture and this talk, then I will do that. I can help you come out of this as an honest man, as a leader in your community, and an artist because of my social arts theory. We are all busy pleasing ourselves. Understand, I know where you're coming from. We all understand shopping for hot men and perhaps chasing the black dragon's red tail, greed, rich fag American men with money that are dangerous, or might be willing to infect you with HIV and you don't know that. It is a hard world for gay and straight communities, yes. And I do not blame anybody, because they may be ignorant and they may have not gone through enough hardship and broken down enough because of poverty and loss of money to see that they can become quality men. And they don't have to latch themselves onto men that are not in their marriages. So when you understand life as a beautiful man and the needed connections with gorgeous men that you wish, you must be nice and meet your wife 100% of the way, because you need her love and romance above all else. Pardon me. So, with all this stated, I think that we have a better idea of the sociology of masculinity, what we want to call a real man. A real man is not a man that does these things behind his wife's back. We call this type of man a coward. Okay. Now, I look like a total freak right now. I understand that. And that's not going to fly very hard with you men. But I have been with men that lied to me before getting to be with me, and then they tell me they're married. And understanding that they have kids, I know what I allowed. I should have been more people smart. I should have been more inquisitive and intuitive and more educated, right? So all this stated, I really hope that Social Alchemy Project Access Management can get you men to come out of the closet and pursue your arts. I can have you create your life, renovate your life, re-engineer your thinking, where your wife is going to be participating and contributing to you. You've got to come out to your wife that you play with men behind your wife's back, behind your girlfriend's back, behind your children's back. And just because you've compartmentalized sex, which is a positive thing to do, you've made a wrong choice. Men, this is of keen importance. You give yourself to the reality of exposing yourself and unleashing your secrets. So anybody that asks you for help in the gay men that you may meet, you have a trusted relationship with your wife or even your gay husband, and you're playing with other gay men. Alpha males are underdogged, and alpha males are also endangered species, according to David Bowie, the rock star, the rock singer. He knew that music was a political weapon. I've talked about this in my lectures. And he also knew that the alpha male is an endangered species. Men have got, or an endangered species, pardon me. Oh, to put in my dentures so I could speak. Be considerate to your wives, okay? If they are dominating, they're nagging, you want to call them all the names in the book, and I know the names, okay? You know the names. Get some therapy with her. This is going to help you not go to gay men with celebrity-itis. You know, you want a man that has money, a man that has the wealth and the success, and Tom Cruise and the actor, and someone that's going to change your life and fall in love with you and make a commitment to you, and then you tell your wife back at home you want to get a divorce. and you had a commitment with her. Now you're breaking the commitment for a man that you believe is going to be loyal to the commitment to you. I got news for you, men. You're generating the wrong thinking. What you need to do is generate preview of you and tell your story about your accepting yourself and mellowing out and not throwing it to the teeth of your critics, like myself, but to take life in your own hands and be a real man. A real man is not playing in the dirt. A real man is not going to be edgy and push an envelope while they're lying to their partner. And they're going to act like they are someone else when they're with men, when really they are married to their wives. Life is how you deal with your changes, your alchemy, and that's what we're here for you to do. And the dark and damaged mind, heart, and body, gentlemen, that you may feel because of your wives, you need to work through that. Be the best you can be in the army. Now, that's one of the things that you straight men have done, and it's made it difficult for you to come out of the closet, because being the best that you can be also means lying to people, doesn't it? And giving them an impression of who you are that you're really not. And we call that the best. So do you see the corruption, the distortion? So be the best that you can be by being in the army. Well, be the best when you already was the best and great doesn't make sense. While how it is to have a question like this of being everything that is good already, why do you have to set a whole new clone for yourself to be the best if you're out of the closet and you're honest? You don't need to lie in the United States of America. And you don't need to be sorry for being a public servant and caring for the poor and the rich, because you have already been great and rich and the best. Now, when I say rich, I mean that you don't have poor thinking. This is where you have to learn to deal with your mistakes as you facilitate your change. So, we almost need like a church of loyal friends, and of new and old friends, and church of future friends. That's kind of like the New World Christ Church. It's kind of like a spin-off of, you know, Church of Cock, a gay man's church kind of thing. But family is important. When you come out of the closet, you're coming out and you're teaching your children, your family, that it is a religious calling to be honest, right? And to make friends with yourself. And I'm trying not to repeat things I've said to you in the past for my work. I'm not telling you that when you're honest with your wife, you can hook up with me and I'm going to go to sleep with you and help you dream in Never Never Land and go fuck Peter Pan. I'm not talking that. I'm talking about being the inspiration of a culture, a global human family because of technology. That's something that always makes its way into the lectures and the talks I give to you. And in that technological, there's honesty and transparency. It's translucent social psychology is what it is. And you can tell people who you are, what you're inspired to do, by uniting with your wife, uniting with other men, if that's your place, be out of the closet, and by that inspired thinking and unity, you've what? You've ignited a whole culture of men to do what? To become utterly honest and transparent, translucent in that social psychology. So, this is your alchemy, men, and I look forward to you defeating all the odds And men, it's very easy to get thrown away. But you can't throw other people away like your wife. You just can't do that, darling. Because the girly boys and the sissies and the LGBT community is here to what at Social Alchemy Project Access Management? Hold you accountable. I'm here, and I'm going to stand by your side as you come out of the closet with who you are. I love you. God bless you, men. With the courage and the psychological masculinity to be honest as you come out of your closets.